Okay, quick video for myself, Harvey Goldman. No cuts, no edits, no filters, and no hair. So for today's video, I wanted to jump into one about the UK's second-hand goods market, why it's so awesome, and also, if you stick around until near the end of the video, I'm going to give an absolute freebie away. I'm going to show everybody an easy side hustle, thinking outside the box, but it's one that I've done myself, one that worked, and one that you can still do. And none of the vendors involved are going to thank me for telling you this. So anyway, without further ado, the UK's second-hand goods market is basically worth 30 billion a year. Let that figure sink in, 30 billion. Quite impressive. Made more impressive when I tell you that the regular goods market is only worth about 14 or 15 billion a year. So essentially it's twice as valuable. Now there are three main reasons for this, and I'll get into them. So the first one is obvious. The first one is economic drivers. When the cost of living's as ludicrous as it is, when people can't afford what they want, that they buy second-hand. So, you know, you want that new table, you want that new telly, rather than spending £1,000 on it, you might be able to get it for 400 or 500 quid. You've just saved some money and you've got the same item. Win-win. There are loads of marketplaces that you can do this on. Obviously, we know about eBay and Amazon, but there are specialist ones. For musicians, you've got Reverb. For record, CD and tape collectors, you've got Discogs. For vintage clothing fans, you've got Depop and Vinted, and there are countless others out there. So there are opportunities to save regardless of what shopping niche you're looking to buy in. So the second one is for reasons perhaps of sustainability or environmental awareness. So rather than buying a brand new MacBook and then signalling to Apple that they need to go and make more MacBooks because they've just sold one, buy a second-hand one. You're probably going to save yourself a few hundred quid. You won't be sending kids down mines, getting cobalt and lithium to get more batteries, and you're not wiping out rainforests and all the rest of it. So you're saving the planet, you're saving the children, and you're saving some money. It's an absolute trifecta of a win. The third one, and this is an absolute gem, this is the main reason for the video, is resale. So for those looking for a side hustle, use these platforms to resale goods. Now you can resell your own goods. You can buy goods in and then effectively hold them as stock, and then I guess you're your own wholesaler, and you can vend goods wholesale on the platforms. But, and here's a gem, here's a freebie for anybody that's looking to start a side hustle that doesn't have a huge amount of money and is willing to do a little bit of donkey work. And I've done this myself. I did this years back and it still works today. So most clothing stores, for example, particularly clothing, say TK Maxx, for example, or New Look or River Island, we'll pick on those three. So their returns policy might be 30 days. Okay, so you go and you buy any goods that you can find in the sale. TK Maxx is the best one for this because they've got designer labels. So you look for yellow label, red label items. They're usually 50 to 80% off. You buy as many as you can afford. Okay. If you've got to use a credit card, put it on your credit card. It's fine. So you buy as many as you can afford. You don't take the labels off. You don't change the items in any way. You simply photograph them and you list them on eBay. Now you list them for obviously a markup. You've got to consider postage, seller's fees, and you want to make a profit. You can probably make about 30 to 40% on most items, maybe more. Now you keep the items listed for up to 3 weeks. Now they should sell within that time. If they don't, you delist the items, you take your receipt, you take it back to TK Maxx and you get your money back. TK Maxx gets their goods back. You've not had to pay eBay anything because listing an item is absolutely free. You don't pay until it sells. But I'm sure that a good portion of what you've bought, whatever it is, kids' clothes, swimwear, whatever, it will have sold and you'll have made money. So there you go. There's an absolute freebie of a side hustle. And all you need to make that one work is the ability to fund some goods temporarily until you get the money refunded or get the money sent to you from eBay. Easy win. But what are the pitfalls of this? So with the second-hand goods market being worth 30 billion, there has to be a con to this pro. Of course there is. You've got things like the second-hand goods market being proliferated with fakes and knockoffs. And this is, you know, there is no better example of that than Facebook Marketplace. You've got people selling fake Hugo Boss t-shirts for 40 quid, fake trainers, fake Adidas tracksuits, all sorts. It's mental. You've got things like, obviously, the risk of no guarantees. So if you're buying electronics second-hand, you know, you might buy a telly off Marketplace or a laptop off eBay. It might break within a month. You don't have a guarantee to fall back on, so that's a risk. The biggest one for me when doing the hustle that I just mentioned was actually supply chain issues more than anything. So obviously TK Maxx don't sell counterfeit goods. That was never a problem. The biggest problem was my time. So if I went and bought 30 items one day from TK Maxx, because it's one of each individual item and not 10 of the same thing, or very rarely it was more than one of the same thing, each item needs its own listing, its own title, its own tags, its own photo and everything else. And this increases the amount of time that you have to spend creating those listings. So it basically just means more work. But, you know, there are ways around it now. So if you were to do it now, you could use ChatGPT or Perplexity to maybe write the tags and the descriptions for you. You can probably source the photographs online, or you can use Midjourney to make them a bit nicer. There are various ways that you could make this work to your advantage. So anyway, what's your experience of this? I'm keen to find out who's tried any of this, who's tried buying and selling dropship, for example, arbitrage, white labeling, whatever it might be. Really keen to find out. Let me know in the comments. I'm also keen to find out if anybody is up for trying the TK Maxx hustle that I mentioned. It absolutely works. I can attest that it works because I did it for about 3 years. TK Maxx, the location that I went to, and it wasn't just one, it was about 4 or 5 different ones. But the main one that I went to, they knew that I did it and they didn't care. I used to have the staff actually put goods to one side for me because they knew that I would come in that day and just take them. So I had quite a good working arrangement with them for a fair while, really. And yeah, there you go. So look, swings and roundabouts. Let me know what your thoughts are. Obviously, like, follow, subscribe, ring the bell, all that jazz. YouTube's going to put another video up there. You might like it, you might not. And yeah, new video tomorrow. Goldman, peace out.